Jesus fucking Christ. I mentioned in a previous episode a lot of the similarities between Rick and Morty and BoJack Horseman. And something that happened yesterday really called attention to the major difference between the two shows, if we're being honest. And I was watching some Rick and Morty reactions. And you know how, I don't know how it is on your phone, but when I'm watching on my phone, I watch it like this. So you got the screen, you got the comments, you got the next videos. Because I'll probably charge my phone and just be sitting like this in front of me while I'm working. Or like I'm editing, or I'm moving some files around, I'm organizing some shit, I'm creating posts, whatever. I'll have a reaction going, right? So because I have it sitting like this, like essentially like this, right? So I have it phone like this. You can see only the top comment. You don't see any other comments. You see whatever comment YouTube feels like you deserve to see, which is usually like the most upvoted comment. Not typically the most recent comment, not even a pinned comment. Usually it's the most upvoted comment. So I saw this one comment, and I actually stopped what I was doing, picked up my phone, and went in there and looked at the comment, looked at some replies, and was checking out the comments for a while. The comment was, "Damn, this one really got me crying," and it made me realize I've never cried over Rick and Morty. Don't get me wrong, there's been a couple moments that have been down moments. There's one, I think it was season 2, where, somebody dumps Rick and he actually contemplates suicide. But I've never actually, cried over the show. And so I started thinking, well, why is that? Because I've cried over BoJack. I cry over dramas a lot. But comedies like BoJack is the only one that's made me cry that I can think of. And it's because BoJack is 100% grounded in reality. Even though, and I know how stupid that sounds, considering we've got all these fucking sentient animals, the universe doesn't actually make sense for examining it. I cannot fucking wait to get into TV tropes and watch these people talk about how this universe doesn't make sense. Because I've got questions and I've got comments. Believe me, this shit don't make no goddamn sense. How did all this evolve? You know what I'm saying? But even with that, you can have a ridiculous premise, you can have a ridiculous universe, and still be grounded in reality, because it is grounded in reality. But Rick and Morty is detached from reality because of the multiverse thing, and that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to get too much into Rick and Morty. Some of you probably don't give a shit. But because it's detached from reality, they made a creative choice with the multiverses. So nobody can truly die. Everybody's replaceable, and they probably have been replaced. We're probably not watching the same characters from episode to episode. So it's not grounded in reality. So, but it really, it highlighted for me that BoJack Horseman is the only comedy that can make me cry. There are comedic movies. There are TV shows, like Buffy comes to mind. Vampire Diaries to a lesser extent. Legacies probably more, but Legacies hasn't made me cry. I even stopped watching Legacies. It's went off the rails. But Buffy, but they can have comedic episodes, but it's not a comedic show. This is the only comedic show that can make me cry because it's grounded in reality. As ridiculous as that sounds, I just think it's noteworthy. A lot of people talk about how they this is one of their favorite shows. They love the characters, and I'm starting to notice thematic similarities between some of these shows that resonate the most with the audience, the ones I get the most views on, the most comments on, and the shows people care the most about, because the similarity between this and Sopranos, for instance, is the universe doesn't matter. The fabric of the window dressing of the series doesn't matter. What matters is the characters. That's all they care about at the heart of the show. All that matters is the characters and the choices they make. Usually bad choices. So anyway, we can get into this, but it's just it makes because I'll even be getting emotional in editing. So but let's get. I don't want this intro to get too long. Let's do this shit. Oh, we get to finally meet his dad. Or spend more time with his dad, I should say. We've met him. I saw the way he shifted his eyes. He's a dick.
But when they do it at such a volume, you can hear it through the door. That's when you know they're doing it just for the attention.
You fucking asshole.
She never even picked up the little noise in Snot Factory.
He drives like a dick, too. That's such a nice touch.
Here I am, being your...
Look at BoJack's can I get the fuck out of this car?
Pearls are... Some days are the one day that are just for me and my craft. And still, you and the black hole that birthed you can...
This isn't tracking with me as a writer.
What am I supposed to do now? Just go back to writing? I'm out of the zone now.
Who's worse? Him or his mother's father. Whatever that dude's name was, Sugarman. Jesus.
And she's a good mother for teaching you that. You got a head start on most kids. You're actually very lucky.
Oh, you mad?
Thank you.
Oh, fuck you, bitch. You fucking dick. I say miserable cunt for a woman. I realize I need to, that needs to happen. There just hasn't been many bad fathers in what I've been seeing, right? See, the whole miserable expletive is reserved for parents. Because when parents suck, they deserve it, right? So, miserable cunt for the mother. But it needs to be just as quick as miserable cunt. It can't be miserable piece of shit because that takes too long. It needs to be quick and it needs to flow real fast. Workshop this with me. What can we do? Miserable dick just doesn't really work, I don't think. It's in the ballpark. How about miserable fuck? There we go. Miserable fuck. Okay. She's a miserable cunt and he's a miserable fuck. I think we got it, fellas.
Awesome day. Suddenly, I'm the negative one.
Right.
Usually when people ask
disagree that you lied to him and you move on. Like you don't lie to motherfuckers, BoJack.
I have to be like, I don't know.
You just lie to him. Like this lying-ass cocksucker acts like he never lies to anybody, but he don't want to lie to a stranger.
Yeah, I thought, well, today, I'm actually lying.
It is irritating, but then you just lie to him and you move on with your fucking life. Your miserable fuck of a life.
And I would like to order a double Jack meal, and I've kind of got somewhere to be, so maybe less with the crying and more with the frying, huh?
Your stand-up sucks.
Yeah.
Wait, so this is his fucking eulogy? Are you fucking shitting me? You've got to be fucking shitting me. Look, I know she was a miserable cunt, but like time and place, man. There's a certain amount of decorum necessary here.
Mom, you got any ideas? Anything? Mom? No?
Fuck her.
Nothing to contribute?
Look, I've been consistent about that. I know some people feel sorry for her. I gotta say, though, I think that my perspective may differ from some of the people that have been in the comments. Because my parents didn't abuse me. Yeah, my mother married guys who abused me, and she let it happen, and she didn't kick them out. So she endorsed it? I don't know. Holy shit. Worst expression
like a
ever.
Pissed off toy dinosaur. Corner couldn't get her eyes closed. So now her face is
But
forever.
she didn't abuse me. Dad didn't believe it was happening. So he kind of endorsed it a little bit, But they didn't abuse me directly. So I don't know what it's like to have a parent who abuses you and then you still got to love them, So I don't know what that's like. So that's why maybe I'm on a different page than some people with this. Because I can just be 100% fuck her, There's nothing pulling me another direction.
Went home and I told my mother and she said, let that be a lesson. That's the good that comes from wanting things. She was really
Christ,
good at
what a horrible
dispensing life
fucking
lessons that always seemed...
It would be amazing if this entire episode is this eulogy. I'm starting to think that's what it's going to be. Other than cold open, of course. I mean, the way he's winding up here, yeah, that's what this feels like. This is going to be a hard one to react to because it's just wall-to-wall talking, right? There's no breathing in between.
You need them to be over and over and over again. At any moment, they might surprise...
I really like the animation. Obviously, they record the audio track first, then they animate around it. The way he upsides over, they just said, okay, let's have him glare at the coffin right there. Another thing they're doing with the different camera angles, because this is just going to be the whole episode. They're going to have to mix it up or we're going to be really bored, right? So, I like how they're doing it. They've got 3 perspectives. That one, this one, and then the one over here. They're not going to show the crowd, because we're the crowd, right?
It's the face. If you'd seen her, I swear to God, the only thing you'd be thinking about right now is that I am nailing this impression.
Jesus Christ, what a dick.
One instant of strange calm, where she looked in my direction and said, I see you.
Yeah, but sound trust anything you said.
The last thing she said to me, I see you. The only thing that you wanted all along, to be seen. And it doesn't feel like a relief to finally be seen. It feels mean. Like, oh.
Yeah, this is what you were prevented from having the whole time. I get what he's saying.
I was not ready for, I see you.
She knows how to cut through your armor.
Or maybe she just literally meant, I see you.
You can't overanalyze this shit. I've thought a lot about Dad's last words, but you can't overanalyze this shit, man.
In all the shots of the horse, you can see a paper coffee cup on the kitchen counter. But in the shots of Ethan, the coffee cup's missing.
Man, fuck off.
Because the show is making us...
No, it's because the production crew is idiots.
I didn't have the heart to be like, no, man, some crew guy just left their coffee cup in the
Yeah.
shot.
Not
So
to get all
instead, I
Game
was
of
like,
Thrones with it.
maybe we're dumb to try to pin significance onto every little thing.
No,
Maybe
it's
when
true. Like that's actually a good parallel. In this horrible, horrible fucking eulogy, that's a good parallel.
she wasn't really looking at me. She was looking just past me. There was nobody else in the room, so I want to think
Yeah,
she was
that's what
talking
you
to me.
think.
But honestly, she was so far gone at that point. Who knows what she was saying?
Dad was talking to my mother in the final moments. She'd been dead for 20 years. Not actually the final moment. I take that back. The morning he died. He died in the afternoon, but that morning he had an entire conversation with my mom.
Anyone who didn't like his book, he would challenge to a duel.
That's
Anyone
right.
in
Walk
the world.
around. It
He'd
makes
even
this up
pay
a little
for
bit.
airfare to San Francisco and a night in a hotel. Well,
Nice.
eventually this found its way to some kook in Montana who was as batshit as he was, and he took him up on the
Excellent.
offer. They met at Golden Gate
So he
Park.
really did die in a duel. Interesting.
But not looking where he was going, tripped over an exposed root and bashed his head on a rock. I wish I'd known to go to Jack in the Box there. Maybe I could have gotten a free churro.
That's so fucking stupid.
My darling mother gave the eulogy. My entire life, I never heard her say a kind word to or about my father.
Yeah,
but at his
that
funeral,
tracks.
she said, "My husband is dead, and everything is worse now."
That sounds like that miserable cunt.
Maybe that's what she meant by everything is worse now. Is that what you
I'm
meant?
sure
Mel?
that's what she meant. She sure as fuck didn't love him.
My mother, Beatrice.
No, I don't
Horseman.
think anybody's ever
One
walked out
is
of a
decently
eulogy.
red,
Walked out in
and
disgust
the other is
in a
a
eulogy.
huge.
There's one comedian who was, he would be proud. He'd be like, before he started his act, I'm going to make 6 of you people walk out of here before I'm done with my act. And usually he'd be right. It'd be at least 6, probably usually it'd be more, right? One time he came and says, like, half of you are going to be gone by the end of my act. You're going to be walking out in disgust. I bet at the end of this, there's going to be nobody left.
Those parties,
That's why
really
they did the
something.
crowd sounds.
There were skits and magic acts.
Todd, Diane might still be there. She'll be the last one left. There'll need to be somebody to tell him, oh, by the way, everybody else left.
But he always came out to see Mom dance. He'd linger in the doorways. And as a child who was completely terrified of both my parents, I was always aware that this moment of grace, it meant something.
Yeah, it meant he still thought she was hot. Well, one thing about him and his mom, they both experienced shitty parents. So they do have that in common. Of course, she has some control over that, But it is true.
And I would like to think that that's what she meant when we were in the hospital and she said, "I see you."
Man, you're really on
The weird thing about both your parents being dead is it means that you're next.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, it's not
Right there with you, buddy.
one of us could get run over by a Snapchatting teen at any moment.
Absolutely.
And you would think that knowing that would make us more adventurous
Hell no.
and kind and forgiving.
I've never related to him more than right now.
This new show, Filbert. I'm Filbert, star of the show.
Jesus.
Hasn't
Yeah,
even come
promote
out
your
yet,
show,
but
you
it's already
asshole.
getting Emmy buzz. Oh, speaking of buzz, I'm supposed to take 2 of these every morning.
You fucking dick.
It means anymore. Let you guys figure that one out for yourselves.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's motherfucker down there with this blast. I bet Todd's on the piano. He's awfully what's the word I'm looking for? Compliant. He's awfully compliant.
it was written by my friend Herb Kazaz, who's also dead now.
Yeah, let's
And
talk
it stars
about
this
Herb.
little girl named Sarah Lynn,
Yeah, he's also dead.
and it was about these orphans. And
You notice he didn't say that. That was that's my favorite moment in the entire episode. He reacted, but he didn't say it. I love that so much.
one season finale where Olivia's birth mother
shit.
comes to town. And she was a junkie, but she's gotten herself cleaned up. And
You won't see that unbunked.
first, because it's a TV show, Olivia's mother had a relapse and had to go back to
that's
rehab.
dark.
So getting rides from Mr. T, Alf, and the cast of Stomp.
Man,
of course,
it's amazing how much that sounds like a fucking 90s sitcom.
you can't have happy endings in sitcoms. Not really, because if everyone's happy, the show would be over.
Yeah, that's a ticket.
The show
Yeah,
has to
get
keep
meta
going.
with it for a
There's
minute here.
always more show.
Yep.
And
Get meta with it. Super meta.
you never get a happy ending because there's always more
Yep.
show.
That's right. Foreshadow the end of this series.
I'm gonna say. All I know is she wanted an open casket. And
Yeah,
her idiot
which is
son
why he closed it.
couldn't even do that right. I'm not going to stand up here and pretend I ever understood how to please that woman. Even though so much.
How about doing what she said? Though? That's the start, right?
But I keep going back to that moment in the ICU when she looked at me and I see you.
Oh,
I
shit.
We were in
That moment of realization. That's why you don't realize that shit, you dick.
the churro.
Sit your ass down.
You know the shittiest thing about all of this?
You?
Is when that act of kindness showed more compassion than my mother gave me her entire goddamn life. Like,
Yeah,
how hard
good
is
point.
it to do something nice
Fair
for a
enough.
person? And right around when I first met her, her dad died. And I actually went with her to the funeral. And months later...
Still the worst episode ever.
You know what it's like? It's like that show Becker, you know, with Ted Danson. I
No,
watched the
I
entire
don't know
run of
that show. Do not
hoping
tell
that
me
it would
about
get
it.
better. My mother is dead, and everything is worse now.
I
Because
don't think it
now
is for
I
him.
know I will never have a mother who
But I
looks
get what
at
he's
me
saying.
from
I get what he's saying. Just because he thinks something doesn't mean it's right.
that I am the only one that I can depend on. And I know that now, and it's good.
Yeah, but see, you don't depend on yourself. That's the problem.
Well, no point beating a dead horse.
Oh,
Beatrice
Jesus,
Horseman
really,
was born
twice?
in
You're gonna do that shit
1938,
twice?
and she died in... Unless she just wanted what we all want. To be seen.
Yeah, and not to die, maybe. That's right. Let us see her with your horrible fucking expression. Oh my god.
Is this funeral parlor being...
Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. Really? Wow. Jesus fucking Christ. He is one oblivious son of a bitch, man. Like, that raises more questions than it answers. Why did somebody come up there and tell him, hey, man, you think you could possibly... Shut the fuck up! It's just fucking Christ. God, that is the best ending ever. Got to be shitting me. His motherfucker pulled out the flag. I'm not a fan of gimmick episodes, I should say. But man, this show really fucking, they've nailed everyone. The one where, you know, he's underwater and he's not talking. The one that's like completely in his mother's head. You know, their episode 11s, which I think is the same thing, but still. This one, you know, and the reason I'm not a fan of gimmick shows is because most shows just can't execute them. This was executed perfectly, of course. Man, what an incredible fucking, like, that actor must have been in the fucking recording booth all week, man. Like, all week. Everybody else, you got this off. Because he even I'm pretty sure the same actor plays the father, right? He does the father's voice, too. So, literally just him. One-man show. That's what that is. That's like a one-man show. You know, like on a play. That would have been a great, like, one-act play, right? I don't obsess over what his last words were. Like, I wanted to. I tried to obsess over them. But then I told myself the same thing. I told myself the same thing I was telling BoJack here. You can't obsess over it, man. Like, you can't. You'll drive yourself crazy. And literally, I'm sure she was just reading the sign. It made you feel better until you overanalyze it. See, that's why you don't overanalyze this shit, you dumbass. I'm curious, see, this has got to be on people's top 10 best episode ever, you know.